It's Reverb Night on Mixing Night. Two-time Grammy winner Ken Lewis breaks down reverb styles and sounds. How to choose the right reverb for your song. Layering multiple reverbs to create unique space. Exploding reverb with compression. Free reverb plugins and where to find them with Marcus Manderson. Transforming a song by arranging the mix. The Mixing Night Comprehensive Reverb Guide is linked in the description. Download it, use it to follow along with the show, and share it with a friend. We are giving away 2 Ladybug Reverb plugins from Safari Pedals, Auto-Align 2 from Sound Radix, and a 1-year subscription to Session Studio. You must be live to enter, not to win. Entry links are in the show description. Everything you ever wanted to know about reverb is happening now on Mixing Night. Welcome to Mixing Night. I'm your host, Ken Lewis, here with the lovable hellhound, Mazikeen Lewis, absolutely demanding that she gets treats right now. So, welcome to Mixing Night. I have the weirdest discography you will ever see in the entire music industry. Definitely not the best, definitely the strangest. Tonight is Reverb Night. We have an absolutely packed show. Mazzy is here holding down security and treats and barking up a storm. Hopefully she'll calm down. We all know she's a real star. I mean, come on, let's face it. I can be second fiddle. You see the agenda for what's coming up on the show. We will be doing giveaways all night long. I think the first giveaway is in about 20 minutes. You do not have to be live to win, but you do have to be live to enter. So if you're catching the restream, sorry. So enter now. The entry links are in the YouTube description below the video that you are watching. Open a browser tab and try your luck, but don't lose us. And if you do, come right back. While you are there, download our Mixing Night Reverb Guide. We put together this awesome little reverb guide that's going to help you follow along tonight and just help you in the studio. Use it during the broadcast, and as I talk about all things reverb, this is going to help you get a clearer understanding of what I'm showing. And please share it with your studio friends, with your classmates, if you're a student. So much is happening here at the studio in general. It has been insanity since I've been back from Europe. Did you guys know that we have a plugin company? Mixing Night Audio is the plugin company wing of the Mixing Night broadcast, and we are wrapping up our next plugin, Cascade. It's a delay on steroids, but it's also the easiest delay to use. If you don't really understand delays, you can make this one sound amazing easily. I'm going to show it in a little bit tonight, and I'm going to show basically how I mix delays into reverbs with Cascade. So I'll be showing some killer ALLCOMP cheat codes tonight as well. And did you know that ALLCOMP has 5 different reverbs built in? Yeah, I use those things constantly. If you've heard a mix of mine lately, you have definitely heard ALLCOMP and some ALLCOMP reverbs. And on a whole nother note, did you guys hear that I started a sync company? Yes, Sync, S-Y-N-C, not sync like the kitchen sink. Sync is getting music into like film, TV, video games, commercials, etc. So I started Magnetic Music with 3 absolute killers in kind of the Hollywood path of where I am in the record path. We are a high-end boutique sync agency focusing on representing incredible artists with amazing catalog. And let me just say, I am so proud of the quality of roster that we are assembling. It's blowing my mind. We are going to stay small and artist-focused, and I think we're going to do really well, and I am super excited about it. And speaking of being super excited, I just completed my 50th BTS mix. Holy wow. Jin from BTS just released a solo album called Echo, and I mixed a remix of the single Don't Say You Love Me. I did the 90s pop remix if you'd like to hear it. I am super proud of that mix. It sounds amazing to me. I love those guys. The entire Big Hit camp is like family to me. I've been mixing for BTS since 2012 when Hitman and P-Dog flew over to mix the first album with me. So what an honor and a pleasure. My sprint mix tonight is Temptation by Sugar Jesus. Later on, I'm using the vocals on Temptation to show you how to pick reverbs and how to layer reverbs. So I wanted to get you guys familiar with the actual song now. because the moods are going to change with the vocal when I start showing you this stuff. And you're going to see how, picking this reverb elicits one emotion and picking that reverb elicits another emotion. So I think it's going to be a really cool segment. But sprint mixing is 30 mixed stems, all volume randomized, and I have only 10 minutes to solve the entire audio puzzle and create the best rough mix that I possibly can, leaving me about 20 seconds per stem to make every decision with it. Sprint mixing helps me stop thinking about the plugins and the tech, and it really helps me focus on reacting to the music coming out of the speakers. It trains my gut instincts, and now I will shut the hell up and show you what's possible in only 10 minutes. First, I got to launch Pro Tools. Jeez. We had a minor almost catastrophe right before, like literally as the intro video was rolling, my keyboard and my mouse froze, and we had to reboot the entire show computer up here. We were up literally with like 1 second to go before broadcast, which I love when things like that happen, because that is so real world, and it really puts pressure on my guys to perform under pressure and not get nervous and focus on the task and just be like, okay, the world is falling down right now. If I get worried about the what ifs, I'm not going to fix this is what needs to be fixed. So super kudos to my staff for staying really in the moment and getting our problem solved and getting up for broadcast. Literally everything came back, and it was like 1 minute left to go, or 1 second left to go before they went to me on camera. And so, guys, you guys are awesome. And Nolan, I just texted you the listen to link. So for those that want to follow along, I have launched audio movers across the mix bus. And if you click on the link that we're about to pin at the top of the chat during the sprint, you will be able to listen on your phone if you want. It doesn't work on Safari browsers. It mostly works on Chrome browsers. But typically, if I just text it to myself and I click on the link, it comes right up. So you can, for me, I always check my finished mixes on my phone. I always give the phone a listen while I'm working. And it's just a great real world, this is how most people are going to hear your song. So you better make sure it sounds great like this. And man, the chat roll is already filling up. Oh, look at this. I'm giving some shout outs, guys. Mixed by DB, Fish Jackson, Josh S, Polo Diamond, Danny Mom, Wired Up Recording Studio, Bill Dwyer, Todd Studio 79, Dave hates 808s. I don't hate 808s. Why do you hate them, Dave? Tell me. Kurt Codine. I fucking love that name, Dave. That's just Austin Ryan. Welcome, everybody. It is mixing night. I'm about to shut up and sprint for 10 minutes. Let's see how I do. This is Sugar Jesus, Temptation. I freaking love this song. And welcome to mixing night. Let's fucking go. Well, this is interesting. I may have to do this on faders. Nope, I'm not hearing anything, guys. I'm sorry. This could be a little fun.
Launch Dadman.
I tried, and Dadman is giving me some sort of error. I'm going to try launching Dadman again. This file, Studio A514, it couldn't be opened because there is no such file.
Click OK, click OK.
Yep. File load error. Studio,
Okay.
Clicking OK. And still
Quit it one
nothing.
more time.
We'll quit it one more time. I'm going to go to the chat roll and start answering questions. So if you guys have a question, fire away. Man, we got more people. Anthony Rosado, Neb, Brian Pepin. How are you, dude? Where are you in the world tonight? I think Brian is from India, but I don't know if you're in India. If you are in India right now and you are watching the broadcast, you are a savage, dude. And I already know you're a savage because I've heard a lot of your production. So super well done there. I don't know what is going on, but we're not getting anything on the sprint mixes. So fire away with questions if you got them. Brian Pepin is in the United Kingdom. Aha.
Hey.
So the world is still falling down around us, but we will make this shit work. That's just what happens sometimes when you have a live broadcast. There was one time when I accidentally did a restart like 5 minutes before broadcast, and it loaded a new operating system, and we were loading for like 25 minutes into the start of the broadcast, and shit just goes wrong sometimes. That's just the way it is. But fortunately, I got Nolan to do all the sweating for me. I don't really let this stuff wind me up. Well, that is interesting. We're right sample rate.
Showing signal.
Are we on the right interface?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like a Dadman problem, though.
I guess it does, because Dadman's not watching. It's all working.
Let's see. Do we have any questions? Okay. Armin Sangera asks, "Hey Ken, do you ever set reverb times based on tempo?" No. I never set reverb times based on tempo. I just go by, I listen and I just dial it into what feels good. And so if you hear a mix of mine and the reverbs are set to tempo, that was just luck or a natural sense of what I thought the song would need. And that's really it. I think when I start thinking about technical things like, BPM and ratios and frequencies and math, then my brain starts going over to solving math problems, and it starts heading away from solving music problems. And my brain always wants to solve music problems. Let's see. Do we have any other questions on the chat roll? Brian Pepin asks, "How's everybody doing?" Brian Pepin, I'm doing great. I get to watch Nolan here sweat bullets. That's like the highlight of my whole day. This is so, it's not typical because shit never goes wrong around here ever. But the fact that we have prepped for days for this show, and then it all just shits to bed like the moment that we go live, which was probably my fault because I think I shut the door to the machine room and it might have killed something. Oh, I see Dadman. Okay, I think we are back up and running. Oh yes, okay. Thank you, Nolan.
Yes, sir.
I got a beast staff here, man. I am so lucky to have the staff that I got. Speaking of staff, my main guy, Jonathan Garcia, is on his honeymoon in Hawaii right now. And, man, we just had the best time at his wedding. And they're having the best time on their honeymoon. I told him to take a lot of panoramics so that I could put them across the projection wall. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to sprint mix. Should I even... I don't think I should sprint this anymore. I think we have too much of a show to worry about the sprints. So I'm going to go right into the next segment, which is the reverb guide. We put together this really nice comprehensive reverb guide for you guys. It is in the description of the show you are watching right now. I'm going to pull it up on my screen. And I'm just going to go through it with you like super quickly because it's relevant. You should follow along with it for the rest of the show. And while you are grabbing the reverb guide, I think we're going to do a giveaway in about 5 or 7 minutes. I think we're going to give away the first Safari Pedals plugin, the Ladybug Reverb, which is like vibe central. And that's what I love about the Safari Pedals is they're just vibe. And you don't have to think much. They're really easy to use, and they do cool things, and they sound really unique and cool. So reverb types and definitions: room reverb, hall reverb, plate reverb, spring reverb. I'm going to show them all to you tonight. This gives you general descriptions of what they all mean. Chambers, I'm going to show you some chambers tonight. Convolution, I'm not really getting to tonight. It's too convoluted, really. Algorithmic reverb. What is an algorithmic reverb? Like, I don't even know what reverbs I use, or maybe I don't use any algorithmic reverbs, and that's why I don't know what they are. But if you know what an algorithmic reverb is, post up on the chat roll and please educate me, because I learn as much from putting this show on as you guys probably learn from what I'm trying to show you. And really, just doing this show helps keep me sharp. It helps level me up because I'm constantly researching stuff so that I can show it to you guys. And anyway, gated reverbs. I'd say, yeah, non-linear in there as well. Reverse, ambient, infinite, pre-delay, tail, convoluted. Okay, legendary reverb units. These legendary reverb units are what all of these plugins are mostly modeled off of. Even if they don't say it, most of those are modeled off of these. Then you have signature applications that kind of give you just a general, like, this is what that's used for, and this is what that's used for. But there really are no rules to any of this stuff. And the way I pick reverb is in the moment. I listen to what I think I want to put reverb on, and I just ask myself, what do I think is going to be the right tool for this job right now? And then I pick a reverb, and then I usually just scroll presets until I have that aha moment. Unless I really, really know what I want, and then I just go straight to it. Common reverb mistakes, you guys can read through those. If you don't have the guide yet, definitely download it. I am going to go straight to exploding reverb with compression. This is a really cool one. I put this together last night, and if you're on my Instagram, which is @KenLewisProducer, @KenLewisProducer, I did a little, just a quick, like, here's the before and after, which I will show for you in a second. This is such a cool technique. I'm gonna show you this with some like chant vocals and claps. But anything that you have recorded in a room, or anything that you have where the reverb is married to the sound, then you can use these techniques to get your reverbs to explode as well. So I think in 2018, 2019, I was producing this artist named Des Rocks, and we produced a song called Heavy Metal Dreamer. And me and Danny were down at my studio down in Ecuador, and the studio down there, the studio is really well sound treated and dead. But if you open the door, it opens up to this foyer area that's a tiled floor and all cement walls, and all of the rooms off of it are cement walls, and it has this amazing natural reverb to it. So we put this Manley Ref C in the middle of that chamber, and we stood like halfway back in the studio, and we chanted, and then I think we did claps from in the studio and out. And so I'm going to let you hear the before. So here's all of the claps with just the chamber that they were recorded in, but no processing. It's a nice reverb, man. That's just the natural ambience of that room. All the tiled floor and concrete walls just sound so nice. All right, now listen to what ALLCOMP does with it. This is only adding compression and nothing else. So for this, the idea is basically I want a super fast attack and a fast release on the compression, and the vocal chain has those characteristics. And the punch chain has a slower attack and lets that initial transient through. So if I wanted more attack on the claps and then I wanted the body of the reverb pushed forward, I would go to the punch chain. But this, I just want that flat-lined, no transient, all body, just and then it dies. I did do a little bit of Awaken, so I'm emphasizing the mid-range a little bit with Awaken. That's a mid-band exciter and an air-band exciter. And Mash is a limiter, so I'm limiting it as well. And I basically have these settings on every single channel, and I'm just squeezing it and letting it, you can't really see the meter how fast it's coming back up, but basically as soon as it gets past that transient, it wants to release and come straight back up. And that's how the end of the sound gets so emphasized, is that the transient gets crushed and the body gets moved up and emphasized all the way to the end of that natural reverb. Let's listen again. And then if I want to get real crazy with it, I can slap ALLCOMP on the aux, so I'm combining everything and over to this aux. And if I go to the heat channel, listen to what heat does. This shit is bananas. And then since it's reverb night, if I add some reverb, little oxidate. Man, I love our plugins, man. I swear to God, you can open any one of my sessions, every single one of my sessions, back to when we had an alpha version of ALLCOMP, and you will see my plugins all over my sessions. I really design these selfishly for me to do what my brain wants to solve and how my brain wants to process audio and make it like as easy for me to not think about, but to get great results. Let me show you the, while I'm at it, let me show you the chants as well. Now I did a mix of ALLCOMP with a bunch of other compressors here because you can generally get this effect out of any fast attack, fast release compressor. I just find it super easy to dial in with ALLCOMP, but you can kind of see what the L2007 is. And then if I slap ALLCOMP on the whole chant, and maybe I go to heat here, oh, what's going to happen? Gnarly. All right, so that's basically the whole concept of it. Is you want to de-emphasize the transient, that initial spike, and you want to emphasize the tail end of whatever sound you're trying to bring to life. And that just basically tilts the, how it, I don't know, tilts the decay? The decay, that's what I'm looking for. And it really keeps it just leveled out and at the exact same volume right to the end of the reverb, and then it just drops off. So that's how to explode reverbs using compression. Try it at home. Try it with ALLCOMP. It's super easy with ALLCOMP. What is next on the show? Let's see if we got any Q&A happening. Heavy Metal Dream. By the way, speaking of sync companies, this is really valuable information for young creators. So the Des Rocks project was started in my studio, and it was me, Brent Colatalo, who was my former production partner and still great friend. The dude is a fucking beast. And Danny Rocco, who is Des Rocks. So me and Brent and Danny started Des Rocks in my studio. We worked 3-4 days a week on it for like 8 months before we put any songs out. and we created a bunch of songs before we put any songs out. And I think a lot of times, artists are like, I did the song, I think it's really good, I'm going to put it out, and nobody listens to it and nobody reacts, and you're like, why doesn't anybody like me? Well, it's because you're throwing down against people like me who spend 8 months on a project before we decide what the single is and put that out. And almost none of the songs we did in that first 8 months even came out. But Heavy Metal Dreamer was the first song we released. It got 5,000 streams in the first, I think, 2 months. We went on an 8-week waterfall cycle. The second song, Used to the Darkness, is now one of the biggest streamers, and it's at like 52 million. And it went out of the gate kind of hot. We got like #1 on Rock This on Spotify, and we got some action with it. But the song that really took off was song 3, Let Me Live, Let Me Die, which is, I think it's at 70-some million streams just on Spotify. That doesn't include Apple Music or overseas or Amazon or anything. And all of those songs were created before we had fan #1 and stream #1. And we just believed in the project, and we worked so hard on it to make sure that everything that we were doing was to our best standards. And then, wouldn't you know it, because I now have my own sync company, that project did amazing for us at Sync. In fact, it is still doing amazing for us at Sync. I haven't worked on that project since 2018, 2019, and we just caught a huge trailer placement for the new Lionsgate Americana trailer. Man, that's a nice paycheck. And it's like 6 or 7 years later, and we're still landing great syncs, both big and small. We'll take all the money that we can get from it. We'll line them up. And I have found we've probably made at least as much, if not a little bit more, in sync as we have in streaming, and we have streamed 200 or 300 million streams by now, I would think, just on Spotify. That doesn't include the whole pie. So, if you know you have something great, make it as great as you can make it, and then get it out there and work it relentlessly. That's one big ups to Des Rocks. When we were finished with these songs, he got out there and hustled his ass off to get it in front of people. And so it's a combination of everybody doing their best work and their most most serious grind. And we won. Stephen Ramos won the Safari Pedal Ladybug Reverb. Congratulations, Stephen Ramos, you lucky bastard. Pedro Paul Poyart, that's a lot of P's, Pedro. Pedro Paulo Poyart asks, hey Ken, do you usually use mono reverbs? Rarely, except I did put one mono reverb in ALLCOMP. Oxidate number 5 is a mono, like a medium mono room. And, sometimes, especially with percussion instruments and things that you just want to put in a little bit of space, but you don't really want to spread it out, that mono Oxidate 5 is great. But otherwise, usually I don't use many mono reverbs. It's almost always stereo. Sometimes I'll cinch in the stereo if the stereo field is a little bit too wide. And occasionally I'll pan it left and pan it right. And on rare occasion, I'll take 2 very similar reverbs, both in mono, pan one left, pan one right, feed the same thing into both, and then balance them out so you still get this, it's just a different stereo image. It's not necessarily better or worse, it's just different. Let's see. Matt Gregory asks, hey Ken, do you set up multiple reverbs to create depth in a mix so that you have a front space, middle space, and a back space? If so, can you recommend settings you like, such as pre-delay? I'm doing a whole segment on that later in the show, so stick around for that and I will show you. But the short, easy answer is yes, I do that a lot. Usually not with 3 reverbs, usually 2 is enough. Usually I'll set something shorter or very immediate, and then I'll have something longer carry it, which doesn't have to be a long reverb, but it might be longer than the short one. And actually one Tom Lord Algae trick that I learned that I use all the time is the AMS RMX 16 on non-linear. And so UAD makes a great AMS 16 plugin. And if you put like a short non-lin on the lead vocal, or like a snare drum, like a live snare drum or something, it gives it this presence and this size that's really hard to accomplish any other way. And then you can start adding reverb that's like a layer behind it that fills up the space and sounds like reverb. The non-lin really isn't supposed to sound like reverb. It's just supposed to sound like more presence to me. So that's, I think that's a pretty solid answer. The new Track Cats asks, hey Ken, when you dial up or dial back the reverb, let me ask that again. The new Track Cats asks, hey Ken, when do you dial up or dial back the reverb? When is there too much? There's too much when you think there's too much. There's too much when it's clouding up other instrumentation. And like one of the biggest mistakes young creators, especially young mixers, make is, or young producers, same problems. You want to fill in every space. And I am here to tell you that 9 times out of 10, space is your friend. You want to let things breathe a little bit. And the Phil Diox mix that I did in the May show, that I'm going to show you guys some amazing shit at the end of this broadcast. Phil threw the kitchen sink at this thing. And he would take this awesome melody line that was doing this awesome part, and he would layer 3 other instruments doing the exact same thing, or a harmony to it, or something. And all of a sudden, I'm listening and I'm balancing things out, and I'm like, well, the main thing that you created doesn't sound special anymore because it's got all of these layers on it that changes the vibe and fill up all of the space. And if you're trying to fill up all of the space as a producer, you need to understand that your brain can sort all of that out because you're creating it. You've had time to learn what each part is doing, how it's working together, but the listener only gets one listen. And usually they only get 5 or 10 or 20 seconds to decide if they're going to listen anymore. And if you throw too much at them, and if you cloud your ideas too much, then they're just going to skip to the next song because the listener doesn't know why or why not they love something or connect with it. They just know I connect with this or I don't. And if a song is too crowded and the main essence of it can't breathe, then the listener tends to just be like, I don't know, it's not hitting me. So be mindful of not over... Oh, and there's Phil Diox now. He must be on the... Oh, Phil! Hey, Phil's on the chat roll. Everybody say hello to him. I'm going to do some work on his song later on tonight. Speaking of... man, who else is up here? Lagiel! What's up, brother? The Wizard. Bobby Thimgen. Bobby, great to see you. Eric Chansey. Happy anniversary, Eric Chansey. Eric's 31st wedding anniversary was today. Who else we got? J-Rel, Mac Joseph, Kurt Cody, no fucking Andrew Bowen, Tim Talks Audio. Hey, Tim. Who else is Da Fingers on the beat? Just showed up. What's up? Man, we got Kay Lewis is here. My brother from another mother is on the chat roll. Kay Lewis, what's good, brother? We did a panel together down at Sync Spotlight in Atlanta, and it was Ken Lewis, Kay Lewis, and then like 3 other guys. It was probably a little confusing for the audience, but we got along great. Let's see. Do I got to get back to show yet? I feel like no. I still got a little bit of time. Let's see. Well, I'll answer Phil's question. Phil Diox asks, "Hey Ken, how do you feel about panning reverbs like opposite to the instrument?" Every time I do that, I tend to find that I'm outcooling myself because the listener wants to hear that sound here, and all of a sudden the listener hears that sound here, but they hear something else over here, and they don't really understand that this mono thing goes with this mono thing. And sometimes it's really cool. The more space that you have in a mix, the better that works. But especially if you have a dense mix and you're trying to pan mono reverb against a mono signal in the other direction, you don't get stereo. You get definition and fuzz. And so I used to try and do a lot of those things a lot. And the more seasoned that I got, the more I realized that the so-called tricks of the trade or the cool shit was just way too cool for the listener to really connect with. And the nuts and bolts, build your house first, build a great foundation of your mix, build the walls of your house first, and then start polishing it up with interesting things. And I don't know, that'll probably work one of every 10 times I would ever try it, which would be one time a year. Austin Rain asks, reverb and vocal throws? Yes, I do that. Usually the way I do reverb throws is, say I want to do like a reverb throw on a snare, I will just copy that snare to another track and take that track off of the mix bus and only feed it through a reverb, or I will put, I'll copy it to another track and I will put 100% wet stereo reverb on that, and I'll dial it in so that it throws just the way that I want to. But yeah, I do that all the time. And I do delay throws the exact same way. I usually just clip the piece of audio out that I want only the delay throw to feed to, or you can do an automation. There's tons of different ways to do this stuff. And then I'll feed only that into a delay, either on the channel 100% wet, or take the channel off of the mix bus and feed it into my delay aux. So that's usually how I get that done. Stephen Ramos asks, and congratulations, Stephen. Stephen Ramos asks, hey, Ken, are you doing anything outside of music that contributes to your mixing or helps improve your mixing skills? That's a great question. I'm not really sure. Oh, yes. I don't know if it's outside of music. That's an interesting thing. But outside of like making records, I bought a record player. And I acquired a couple catalogs of people's records out of their basements and got some amazing records. I got Jimi Hendrix on the turntable right now. And I started listening to a lot of old classic records, especially when I first come in the morning. I'll just drop the needle on some classic album. And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be an artist that I like. I just want to hear, because back then they were creating original spaces. And, they were using real ambiances and building real chambers and using real plates. And also they were great musicians who had to be great, and you had to be a great singer because there was no auto-tune. So it kind of retrains your ears to like, oh, these are all of the classic albums that people have sampled over and over and over because the feel of these records is so incredible. And it really helps kind of center you and teach your ear like, oh, this is what this is what a horn section is actually supposed to sound like. This is what a string section is supposed to sound like. These are what live drums are supposed to sound like. And so I think it really helps train you in that way. But creatively, like I paint now. I'm not a great painter, but I love what I paint. And all of those on the wall are paintings that I've done. And that just puts you kind of in a different mindset. It's super creative. The time just melts away. And if you'll notice with my stuff, it's kind of like glowing. So what I do is I paint with fluorescent lights. Not everything, but a lot of what I paint is with fluorescent lights. And it changes under the light that I use. So all of these things look different with blue light than they do with green light, and it's not changing, of course, because I think we probably screwed that up when we did the time change. But yeah, here's a good, like you can see they look completely different under normal light than they do blue light. And different under green light and yellow light and pink and red light. And so I just found it fascinating that I could create something that the normal person would look at and not really understand what I was creating and why. And now that I've kind of done a bunch of those and I'm really happy with them, I've moved on to just trying to get brush strokes better and things like that. So it's just really fun to take on like a new hobby and see what you can do with that. Painting, I highly recommend it. I do mostly acrylic on canvas. I do all acrylic on canvas. And you know, I thought painting was going to be too hard and I was going to be terrible at it and it was going to be too expensive, and none of those things are true. I highly encourage you, even if you see like a wine and painting night in your local community, go. Absolutely go. Take your girlfriend. Have a great time. I promise you, you'll have a great time. That Van Gogh-ish looking thing that's kind of a rip on Starry Night sitting behind me, that was a wine and painting night. And, you know, that was one night and we just did it and had a blast, and I created something I like from it, and boom. Okay, I'm going to go to how to choose reverb. So while I'm firing that up, I'm going to take another question. Man, the chat roll is... This is Torch is on the chat roll. What is up, Torch? Speaking of people that are going to be on my sync agency, that man is going to be an important piece. What-a-do? 1957 Mortone? 1957 Mortone, light body, 1987. Who else we got up here? Man, Wednesday Ann is joining us. Hey, Wednesday Ann. Man, all of our friends are showing up tonight. I love you guys. This is very cool. I love having the chat roll right in front of me so I can see who's on and what you guys are talking about and how the community is interacting. It's really one of the most amazing things about Mixing Night is just the community that we have built. We're in our 6th year of broadcast. Can you guys believe that? Yeah, we've been streaming for over 5 years now. It's absolutely crazy. All right. Last question before I dig into how to choose reverbs. Lightbody 1987 asks, hey Ken, do you think a plate reverb sounds best on snare drum? I produce hip hop and it sounds nice when I take out the highs on the reverb. I don't think any specific reverb sounds best on snare. I think it's really determined by the song. First off, does the snare even need reverb is question 1. Then question 2 is, are you going for impact or are you going for size? Do you want that reverb to carry? Like, what's your goals? So you have to envision what you're trying to accomplish with it and then try and pick the right reverb that accomplishes your vision. And you've also got to be open to being wrong. So if you hear something, you're like, nah, I don't think that's it. Then undo it and try something else, or just scroll presets. Like the presets for me, I scroll presets until I get that aha moment. I don't scroll presets to go like, oh, I need the kick, you know, the kick verb on the kick, and I need the snare verb on the snare, and I need the vocal verb on the vocal. I just close my eyes and scroll presets until magic happens. Okay, so you guys didn't get to hear Sugar Jesus Temptation earlier, but this is a awesome song. I'm gonna play just, let me just play you a little bit of the song so you get an idea of what we're working with.
Come and follow me, let me be the air you breathe. I'm your fantasy, once you come you never leave. Want you to be there to feel me get inside your head, hold you over the edge, you won't never forget. I'm gonna heal you, steal you away from yourself.
So totally dry vocals right now. And so I've set up a gang of reverbs for you to check out. And well, I think I've set up 5 different reverbs. So, man, do you guys hear Mazzy just gnawing the shit out of that bone right behind me? It's the only way to keep her from barking. As soon as she gets tired of the bone, she's just gonna be barking my ear off, and I'm gonna have to let her go. I'm gonna start with this AMS, and this is a non-lin. This is just what I told you a little bit ago, where you use non-lin for size and initial impact. This is that. Listen to what it does.
Come and follow me, let me be the air you breathe. I'm your fantasy, once you come you never leave.
I like to envision this type of reverb as you don't hear it, you feel it. And you feel the vocal kind of go from here to like, oh, this is just a nice big vocal right now. It's not supposed to be reverb. It's supposed to give you kind of a size and depth.
Come and follow me, let me be the air you breathe. I'm your fantasy.
All right, next. chamber, Seventh Heaven chamber. This was Mike Miller's favorite preset on Seventh Heaven, and he used this on a ton of his ATMOS mixes, and his ATMOS mixes were the best. So let's hear what this chamber does on this girl's voice.
Come and follow me. Let me be the air you breathe. I'm your fantasy. Once you come, you never leave. Come and follow me. Let me be the air.
And if you notice, like I'm emphasizing it a little bit more than I would when I'm mixing, so that you can hear it while we're broadcasting. But then I'm going to tuck it back to perspective of where I think it works best in the mix. Let me show you.
Come and follow me. Let me.
So when it's loud, I'm listening for its characteristic, and I'm going like, huh, okay, this is what this sounds like. Now let me pull it back, and my ear can identify what it's doing to the vocal much easier.
Come and follow me. Let me be the air you breathe. I'm your fantasy. Once you come, you never leave.
Nice. Next is this frickin' vibe box, man. Ladybug Reverb from Safari Pedals. This thing is really cool, and it's got a spring and a plate, and a lo-fi knob.
Come and follow me. Let me be the air you breathe. I'm your fantasy. Once you come, you never leave. Come and follow me. Let me be the air you breathe. I'm your fantasy.
And the plate is really cool too.
Once you come, you never leave. Come and follow me. Let me be the air you breathe.
Next, I'm going into outer space with the Valhalla Vintage Reverb. This is like, oh, yeah, she's getting unruly. Come on, lay down. Come on, lay down. Stay with Daddy. Come on, lay down. She's like, I want out now. Oh, let's see if she calms down. So this instantiates at 4 seconds, and it's a really nice haul. But I like, if I want a reverb that just carries into the distance, I usually jack this up to like 6 or 8 seconds.
Come and follow me. Let me be the air you breathe. I'm your fantasy. Once you come, you never leave. Come and follow me.
So let's put the non-lin and the chamber together with the Valhalla, and let's see what we get.
Come and follow me. Let me be the air you breathe. I'm your fantasy. Once you come, you never leave. Come and follow me. Let me be the air you breathe. I'm your fantasy. Once you come, you never leave.
So I'm taking one reverb for initial impact and size, which is the AMS RMX16. Then I'm taking a chamber and giving it a little bit of actual reverb depth. And then I'm giving it this long concert hall, which just kind of fades into the distance. And you can hear the way all three work together. They do different things, and they support different pieces of the vocal. And that's the way that you pick and layer sounds. But I'm going to go even deeper than that, because I would be remiss to not show you our new Cascade plugin, which is absolute fire. Right now I have this set to ping pong, quarter note, and I have my vocal curve in there. So styles we have, presence transmitter, through the door, which is all bass and no highs. Shimmer, which is really overemphasized highs. soft, mid boost, telephone, clean, all of these things, but I like my vocal settings the best. And if I just feed into Cascade, let's see, what do I have going here? Oh, that's what I'm doing. Okay, let me mute that for a second. I'm gonna keep the other reverbs going, and I'm gonna let my dog out. Hang on. Hey, you. Okay. You're gonna regret not being in here. You're gonna want to come back. She'll be back. They always come back. Okay. So we have these 3 reverbs. Now let's add a delay to the scenario. So this is a ping pong delay. So it's going dun 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 dun. Let's hear it.
Come and follow me. Let me be the air you breathe. I'm your fantasy. Once you come, you never leave. Come and follow me. Let me be the air you breathe. I'm your fantasy. Once you come, you never leave. Come and follow me.
Trying to tell you. Yeah, this delay, man, we did it. There's so much functionality in this delay, it's ridiculous. But when I set out to design this with Dom, we wanted to build the easiest to use delay on planet Earth. So if you don't know anything about mixing and you don't know really what delays do, you should be able to use this straight out the box and get great sounds out of it. But since I selfishly design everything for me, we also designed this with a ton of add-on horsepower that can craft this into any sonic thing that you could ever want, including adding reverb to the delay, which is wash right here. So we have 3 different reverbs that this delay can feed into. We've got chorusing and saturation, and then if you hit the cascade mode, boy do you get some other options. And then there's going to be a drop down that we're finishing up right now that I'm not going to tell you everything about, but oh, we've been working on the coding on this all week, and man, we really did some freaking damage this week on it. Shout out to the coding interns here. They've really been doing amazing things lately with us, and we've been cooking up some fire. So that's the gist of like how you layer things. Let's see if I got any questions that are pertinent to what I'm doing. Oh, that's great. Side note, Doug Pittman won Session Studio. Doug, congratulations. So I use Session Studio, and I hope you use Session Studio the same way, Doug, for during songwriting sessions and to keep all of my production organized. So for instance, I got Coburn here tomorrow writing for her album. And when we write together, all of the lyrics and lyrical ideas go into Session Studio on a song-by-song basis. So you can, you can fire up the song that you're working on. It's got a tab for lyrics. It's got a tab for splits, credits, all sorts of different, all of the basic information that you would want to have. So we keep all of the production info in there. And also the great thing about it is with the audio, you can upload multiple versions of the song, and you can tag each one like, oh, this was vocal day 1, vocal day 2, vocal comps, rough mix, better rough mix, more tracking, and then final mix 1, revision 2, and all of those, whatever, including like voice note. So you may be in a writing session and you may just voice note, a verse or something, and then you upload that voice note so that you don't forget it and you know exactly where it is, and you don't have to scroll 1,000 times on your phone to find it. So Session Studio has been really invaluable for me and Coburn to kind of keep her project organized, remember where we are with everything, and stay on track with it. And find all of the versions that we need when we need them, keep all of our lyrics in one place. So congratulations, Doug Pittman. You get a year of Session Studio. Make good use of it. Kurt Codine asks, are we getting the Sprint later? Do you guys want the sprint later? I don't know if I'll have time. I might extend the show if there's a real demand. Didn't know you guys loved it like that. That's really cool. Nathaniel Reichman is on. Hey, Nathaniel, how are you? Who else we got? King Nuke TV, Jeff Edwards. Oh, I love that guy. Everybody say hi to Jeff. He's a fantastic human being. Matt Thrasher is on. Good to see you, Matt. Who else we got? Man, everything's popping tonight. Okay. Josiah Quinn asks, hey Ken, is it better to copy to a new track or just automate the send or return up? It's really dealer's choice. If you're really fast with automation and you're comfortable with it, then I would just automate it. But for me, I try to use automation as little as possible. I'm just a really visual person. I like to see everything happening in front of me all the time, and I like to see as little in my, like, if you look at the way I set my sessions up, everything is strip silenced. I don't have any extraneous information on the screen, no clip gain values, no names of files. All of my tracks on the left are going to be labeled simple, easy, like they pop up. It's not audio 1, audio 17,000, audio 51. It's all descriptive, short names of files. I'm only putting over here what I want to see. I don't have anything up on my top bar that I don't need. I have my timeline, my tempo. I don't even need the 4/4. I would probably get rid of that. Let's see, rulers is meter. I don't need to know that this is in 4/4. Of course it is. Same with my top bar here. I try and just keep only the information that I need. And same with my, usually I would have just this. So A through E sends, A through E inserts. If I'm using F through J, then yeah, I'll put those up as well. But I want to look at as little as possible, and I want my brain to be not thinking about the tech and not thinking about the plugins and focused on the music. Always reacting to the music. Let's see, what other interesting things can I show you? Oh, I am gonna... So my illustrious assistant here, Nolan Monagold, who also has his own studio in Cincinnati, Ohio. He's genius level over there. But where's the tunnel? Is it here? Yeah, yeah. He has discovered all of these incredible spaces around Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati is a real beer town. And it's been a beer town for like well over a century. So there's all of these spaces where they used to house beer barrels and age beer barrels and things like that. And now they're just empty spaces like 4 stories down into the earth, and nobody's going down there. And he's ventured down there to capture like what do you call it? Impulse responses of all of these amazing spaces, which we'll show you in a second. But I just wanted to let you hear a little bit of the results of what we're about to show you. So these are all sound captures from this long beer hall or beer storage tube walkway, and he's capturing in different depths of the tube. Check this out. So do you hear the ambience change? It's the same space and it's the same cowbell, but the hits are changing depending on where he is positioning himself in that space. I'll just let you hear a couple. Killer pre-delay on that. And then he does this walkthrough that you can hear the ambience change as he walks through, which is fascinating. That is the coolest thing. Now that will make a lot more sense when you see this video. Nolan, let's roll your video.
What is up, everybody? We are here at the Crown Brewing Company Ice House at the Over the Rhine Boatworks building. We're about to do some reverb stuff.
You're about to shoot me parallel parking just here right now.
Let's get loaded in.
We're gonna get some drum samples going.
Yes, sir.
the places we go for mixing night.
So here we are on the other end. This is how we got in. And this is where we're going to be testing all the different reverbs. You can probably already hear what I'm talking about. We are down here underneath an undisclosed location in Cincinnati, Ohio, in one of the Schmidt brewing tunnels. Now, this building used to be used for actually lagering the beer, and that's where lager beer comes from, and also was part of the ice house, where they would send a whole bunch of ice and fun stuff underneath the ground. The main thing that we are down here and that I really want to show off is the difference that reverb chambers really make. You hear about a space that you're going to record in, and you hear people talking about impulses, but where do they actually do them, and what's the point of them? Hopefully, with what we're about to do, you'll be able to hear it. This is a fully stone room. And when I clap, you hear some reverb, especially when we're closer. I'm talking, you can hear a little bit of it bouncing around. Clap, nothing crazy. Now come this way. As we start going towards this fun little hole in the wall, we go into one of the most unique audio spaces that I have ever been in. So just kind of come close, and as I'm talking to you, you're gonna start to hear the difference as I back up. Listen to the decay on everything that I say. Just get longer and longer as I get deeper into this cavern. This is running underneath a street. Listen to the clap. All of that meow sound that you're hearing, that's this wall bouncing back to the back, then back to the front, and hitting your ears at that specific time. And as I get closer, you'll hear my voice get all the much tighter, because that's how reverb works. And even hear the difference between this completely empty room that has these arching ceilings and how much it's booming, booming, booming. Now when I go into the exact same architecture overhead room, but with a whole bunch of shit in here, booming, booming, it's completely dry. That's because there's all of this diffusion on the ground.
Cowbell, main room, center. Cowbell, end of tunnel. I'm on the other side. Cowbell.
From the top of the tunnel.
Hello and welcome back. Thank you, Nolan, and I think it's Andrew. Really, really cool segment, and I found that fascinating. But Nolan has found all types of spaces in Cincinnati that are kind of similar to those, or just have their own unique characteristics. Every single one of them sounds different. Every one of them has their own kind of interesting sound. And there's another incredible space in Cincinnati called Union Terminal. You'll see it in the Superman movie this summer, and Union Terminal is the Justice League Hall of Justice. So, but the acoustics in that place are absolutely mind-blowing. And I have a friend who works there, and she gave us kind of like a behind-the-scenes tour. And there's all of these fascinating spaces that have just the coolest reverbs and ambiences in them. And we got to experience all of them. It was so fun. Let's see. Back to a couple questions. Andrew Bowen asks, "Hey Ken, what do you do to help with ear fatigue?" Andrew, I protect my hearing like these things are gold, solid gold, diamond encrusted platinum. I don't go to concerts, except Eras. I had to go to Eras. But I'm 54. My birthday's next week. Holy cow. I have no tinnitus. Tinnitus is a choice. It is a choice to put yourself in loud environments over and over and over and over and over until your ears start ringing. And when those ears start ringing, they never stop. And I never want my ears to start ringing. So I am super conscious of ear fatigue. And even historically, when I was a tracking engineer, if the volume got too loud, I got up and walked out. And that was just the way it was. And if I was in a mix and the producer or whoever wanted to play that shit on stun level, great, here's the volume. I'll be out in the hallway saving my hearing. And I work 7 days a week and I work long hours and my speakers are often going a lot. And, I work sometimes on real small speakers. I have these IK Multimedia iLoud Micro Pros in front of me, which sound really, really great. They're really, really detailed, and they're not going to damage me, and I don't have to turn them way up. The speakers that I do have are dialed in really well and very high quality, so I don't have to turn it way up in order to hear the picture of what I'm working on. And if you see, I don't have huge mains in here. It's not because I can't afford them. I don't want the ability to hurt myself quickly. Those Dutch and Dutch are loud enough, but I never turn them up anywhere near what they're capable of. But those Dutches, the white ones, have two 8-inch speakers out the back of each side. So there's 6 8s and 2 tweeters, which is amazing. So you just got to be careful and protect your hearing like it is the most important thing in life. Because to me, my hearing is the most important thing in my creative life for sure. Protect yours. Hey, Josh Schultz won the Sound Radix Auto Align. Josh, you are going to love that plugin. Auto Align and Auto Align 2 are like my go-tos, especially if I have like a live drum kit with a bunch of different microphones. Auto Align analyzes the other mics and basically corrects the phase and timing to be as accurate as possible and eliminate as much of the phase incoherency as possible. And it is a game changer. Like anytime I have a live drum kit, the very first thing that I do is just auto align everything and listen. And sometimes the result is like, I don't love that. And you either try again or you just, don't use it on that. But most of the time it's just like, wow. I would have never been able to get that out of EQ. And the other thing Auto Align is great for is one-shots. So say you have three kick drums that are all hitting at the same time. Chances are it's a phase mess. And I guarantee you if you auto align those 3 kicks, most likely your kicks are going to get much tighter, much fatter, much punchier, and everything is going to sound way better without any EQ or compression. So congrats, Josh Schultz. You're going to love that stuff. 1957 Moretone. Do you ever feed a reverb with a delay? I usually front load delay into reverb, not the other way around. If I have the creative vision for it, why not? There's really no rules to this, but usually it's delay first into reverb. Ghost of Nostra asks, "Hey Ken, would you use reverb with GreenHAAS?" Oh, I definitely would. In fact, I am producing and writing with Indian artist Anushka Sen right now, and she is so talented. And the single that we're cooking up right now for her lead vocal, after I got everything comped and ready to mix, it was like ALLCOMP to dial it in, and probably a de-esser after that, and then GreenHAAS right on her channel, and it just... when Coburn heard it, she was like, "What did you do to the vocal? It just wraps around your ears." And I'm like, "I know, that's GreenHAAS." So, yeah, I love GreenHAAS on a vocal. Sometimes I'll put it on an aux and feed into it. And sometimes I will just insert it on a track. I think on the Anushka Sen record, the lead vocal, the GreenHAAS is inserted on the track. And same with ALLCOMP. Let's see. What am I supposed to be doing after the real world? Layering. I already kind of showed that. Yeah, we can be doing more Q&A. Steven Ramos asks, "Hey Ken, I feel like the hype over Atmos has faded. Am I wrong? What are the updates?" Well, when Atmos first came out, Apple was actually paying artists or paying for the Atmos mix for a lot of artists, or subsidizing a portion of it so that they could get mixes for their Apple Music. It still hasn't really been adopted. Atmos hasn't been adopted by independent artists that much. Some of what I am mixing for indies, I also do Atmos for, or I'm doing Atmos only. But and every artist that I produce, I'm doing Atmos mixes for. I still think it's the future. It's definitely not going away. But there is not really a money stream to be tapped into if you are not already tapped in. Because the people who are tapped into it are taking all of the gigs and all of the money. There's just not that much to go around. And I think the rollout of Atmos was largely terrible. They treated it like a street level format when it was really an audiophile format. And so we got a lot of really crappy mixes that just sounded like shit, and people didn't know why that song that they loved was sounding so bad. But it was just a bad Atmos representation of a stereo mix that they always loved. So a little bit of that is still happening. But the flip side of all of that is I am definitively here to tell you that Atmos, when done well, sounds fucking amazing. And the headphone experience, I think, when done really well, the headphone experience for Atmos over stereo is like a 10 to 20% improvement. And it feels like you're listening to the song that you love in HD in headphones. But the speaker experience, which, nobody's going to have this environment that I have to listen to their Atmos mixes. But Atmos is already in a lot of car systems. There are a ton of sound bars and full home systems that are fully Atmos compatible and ready. And the Atmos speaker experience is like 10x what a stereo thing is. And in this room, it's like fucking 100x. Like, there is not a single person who is just a music fan or an artist themselves or a mix engineer or whoever that hasn't heard Atmos before, that I sit here and play them a full Atmos mix on the speakers, that it does not absolutely get the jaw drop. I mean, it is such an amazing format when done really well. So that's kind of my feeling on Atmos and where it's going. Not much money in it, but I certainly love it. And, it's Dolby and Apple. Those are two of the biggest companies in audio. They're not going away. They're basing future product lines on, the audio portion of their product lines on Atmos. So it's here to stay. I don't see anything usurping it. Maybe. Who knows what the future holds, but I doubt it. Anyway, who else we got on the chat roll? Michael Bruce Miller, welcome to Mixing Night. Is it Massey the creator? I almost called you Mazzy. I'm missing my dog already. My dog leaves me and everybody becomes Mazzy. Massey the creator. Who else we got? Only One Science, good to see you. And then we got all the regulars. Jeff Edwards. Jeff is like an incredible engineer. Like, you all don't know the level of talent on this chat roll right now. Between all of the people I'm seeing, and Jeff is certainly one of them, he has worked on a lot of records that I guarantee you love. And, man, he called me up for a record he was doing with Pooh Bear. and an artist named Major Ali, and it was featuring Justin Bieber and Juicy J. And I didn't know Jeff at the time, and he calls me at like 9 o'clock at night, and he says, Ken, this is who I am, this is who I'm working with, we have this song, 5 other heavy mixers have mixed it, we still don't like the mix, I really love your work, is there any way that you could try and take a shot at this tonight? And I was like, for me, I love shootouts. I will shoot out against anybody. I have beaten all of the best in the world. Occasionally they beat me, but I am not shy to throw down. And I got the files around midnight, and by 7 a.m. I turned in my mix, and by 11 a.m. we were revised, and by 1 p.m. it was final, and I beat 5 killers. And that was the first day that I met Jeff, and we've been friends ever since. Amen, Jeff, you are a killer, man. Yeah, it always mind blows me, like, who shows up on the chat roll. We get so many heavies on this chat roll just hanging out. Like, Laguil is up there. Laguil is doing a ton of fucking top-level work with artists Bob Horn, same way. He's on all the time. We had Cohen Heldens on the other night. Just Blaze showed up on the chat roll one night. It's nutty. That's been one of the real things that I've loved about this show, is just the way it brings, top level, mid level, and entry level pros together with, students who are trying to figure this out, and hobbyists who just love making records in their own home for the fun of it. Let me tell you, if I didn't have this career in this studio and all of this stuff, I guarantee you I would be a home hobbyist still making records just for the fun of it, just getting it done, just because I love creating. And, the drive has never been money. The money has to be there to afford all of this, but the drive has never been money. The drive has been, creativity, and I've always just wanted to position myself to be in the rooms with the most creative people and the highest level people that I possibly can, as many times as I possibly can, as often as I can. And that's really the buzz and the drive for me. And I see Steve Nathan on the chat roll. Talk about a killer. Jeez. These people are just, the things that these people have done in their careers are mind-blowing. And Steve Nathan is one of them. ENT, good to see you. DeFingers, Kurt Codeine, David Yo? Or is that David Yo? You just go by David? I don't know. Paulo Diamond, good to see you. J. Rel, 1957 Moretone. Who else we got? Wednesday Ann, love you, man. Josh S. Who else we got? Steve Nathan is the best. Steve Nathan and his wife and kid came out for the full solar eclipse on April 8th. Was it 2024? And they stayed out here with us, and we got like 2.5 minutes of full solar eclipse. That thing went right through Ohio, and if you ever get the chance to see a full solar eclipse, it is magical. It's mind-blowing. You just can't even believe what's happening when you're seeing it. Like, it just looks like this big black dot and this perfect ring of light around it. And if you know anything about eclipses, you see the diamond ring effect right before the whole thing goes full on. It's just magical. It was amazing. And it was amazing having my friends out here to experience it with us in our backyard. It was just nuts. Button Pusher, what's up? LZ2K7, what's up? The new Track Cats, what's up? Man, we got a poppin' chat roll tonight. Fire away with questions if you got them. I'm going to go to reverb types and examples. I'm just going to nerd out a little bit on... Oh, you're going to love the end of this segment. You're not ready for the end of this segment. You are just not ready. Like Dominic knows. My partner, Dom Ravinius, he knows what I'm about to smack you in the face with. But you don't know. You don't know. Is this... Did I pull up... Oh, no. Oh, this isn't... Did I not save? Oh, God. Oh, this might be bad. Hold.
File backup?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking to see if I have a different, I don't see it, but it's got to be in session file backups, because this is the unprepped version. Boom, 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 boom. Where's the session file backups? Oh, come now. Oh, I prepped this whole thing. Where did it go? Well, did I put it somewhere else? I don't think so. Where the heck did it go? Oh man, that's a drag.
Is it in the June cleanup desktop folder?
Doubtful, but I'll look. Don't think so. Well, I will just have to skip straight to the end of this segment and show you the mind-blowing part. Reverb styles breakbeat. That sucks. Well, I spent a good chunk of this afternoon putting together an example for you of like most of the different reverbs that are in the reverb guide. If you haven't downloaded the reverb guide yet, I don't know if it's pinned on the chat, but it's in the description of the video you are watching right now. Go and get it, share it with your friends, share it with your classmates, and keep it at your side while you're mixing, and it will maybe help you in more effectively choosing reverbs and getting your vision across for what you're trying to accomplish. But for now, I will just show you some ALLCOMP tricks on this breakbeat, and prepare to be amazed. So first I'll just go through some reverbs on the Oxidate reverb engine so you can hear kind of different ways that reverbs change the style and the feel of a breakbeat. This is a mono room. By the way, with Oxidate, this is still feeding into reverb. This is just less reverb, this is more reverb. And it kind of defaults to where I typically think reverb tends to sound best. Let's hear some of the others. Oxidate Engine 4 is a bright plate. Three is a medium room. Two is like a chamber. And this is like a long dark hall. Now, if I wanted to emphasize the low end, I would hit the low end. Listen to the kick drum. Man, I love my plugin. Do you hear how the low end chain it compresses the low end, but then it pushes it forward so that kick just kind of gets a little bit bigger and fatter and pokes out more. And the vocals chain on drums, that's a fast attack, fast release. So like where punch lets the transients through and then pushes forward, vocals kind of just tells those transients, nope, we're going to even you out and we're going to make everything that's lower level come up closer to the level of the loudest things. So it's just taking the loudest parts of the peaks and the lowest parts of the lows and reducing the dynamic range to something more like this instead of this. And ALLCOMP is really meant to be like a dummy box for going, okay, well, which one of these chains sounds better? Like, I don't even have to know what I'm doing. I can just listen and go like, which sound fits my production best? You see I'm holding off on heat, right? The other super cheat code with ALLCOMP is oxidate reverb on pre. So what this does in pre is it takes the reverb and the input signal, in this case a breakbeat, and it marries those two things together before it hits this big dial compression and other things chain. So incidentally, on each of these chains, when you're pushing up the dial, it's not only changing one thing. There is a lot going on under the hood for each different chain, and each different chain is different, or different things are happening for each chain. So when I have oxidate in pre, when the sound is driving, it pushes the reverb back a little bit and it dries it out, and then when you hit the gaps, it explodes that reverb forward and just gives you a sound that you can't really get from feeding a signal from the source channel through an aux to a reverb on an aux. You can't really get the same thing. The way to do that is post. So if you're in oxidate post, that's just like putting a reverb on an aux. But listen to the difference in aggression in pre. You hear that room start to explode a little bit? It's kind of more a linear decay on those snares in post, whereas in pre, it sounds like that you're just in an amazing like stone drum room. All right, y'all ready for some heat? You're not ready. You're not fucking ready. It's insane what this thing does so effortlessly. ALLCOMP wins. We did it. Check, ALLCOMP has a free 14-day trial. I guarantee you, after session 1 of using this thing, you will know whether or not you want to spend the money on it. And it is straight out of my brain. And, you know, I design, like me and Dom design these chains together. Some of the, like, especially the heat chain is probably more Dom than me. But most of these things I took from processes that I used to use 3 and 4 plugins to achieve one sound. And I was like, well, that is really time consuming and it makes me focus on what the plugins are doing instead of what the music is doing. So what if we put all of these processes under the hood in the way that I most typically use them, make them as musical as possible, and you have ALLCOMP. So go check it out. Let's see, we are going to go to Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery. And Marcus is going to point you in the direction of all of the free reverb plugins that you can get. So take it away, Marcus Manderson.
What's good, Mixing Night family? This is Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery, back with another Mixing Night Man of Mystery moment. In this Mixing Night Man of Mystery moment, we're going to talk about free reverb plugins because this is Reverb Night. So let's get into it. First, we're going to start with Variety of Sound, the Epic Reverb family. You get Epic Clouds, Epic Plate, and Epic Rooms all for free. Definitely check that one out. Then you have Spectral plugins. We mentioned them before, but in this case, you want to check out Spacer, which has a modular creative effects, including some delays and reverbs in there. You can check out all for free. Actually, all 3 of these are free, so check all 3 of those out. Then we have Air Windows, K-Cosmos, which is an infinite space, ambient, or Titanic Hall reverb that you can check out also for free. Then we have Solaris. The thing about Solaris, I believe this is only for Windows, but that's cool because I'm going to show you one later that's only for Apple. Check out Solaris if you are a Windows user from Adam Szabo. I don't know how you say his name. Fogpad. Next, we have Fogpad from Igorski.nl. This is a reverberation plugin for Mac OS and Windows. So check out Fogpad and some effects you can create with there. Then we have Melda Production. We've mentioned a lot of their free plugins as well. They have a bunch of free effects plugins you can use and some free sound plugins. You want to check out M Charm Verb and M Convolution Easy. These are 2 of the free reverbs that they offer. Next, we have Skynet. If we have any lovers of the Terminator series films, you can check out the Skynet Reverb, a free plugin that you can check out. VST3 and AU plugin. Then we have Anwida Soft. I don't know how you say that exactly. You have Spatial Light here, this plugin. Next, we have Combology XT from WaveArts.com. You have a lot of presets in here, and I believe you can purchase more presets for this plugin, so definitely check that out. Next, we have Voxingo, a free reverb called Old School Verb. It's a hall reverb plugin that you can check out, and you can find out more about that. Then we have Valhalla Supermassive. We've also shared this in the past before. Valhalla has a bunch of free plugins and a bunch of paid plugins that you can check out. Some great plugins. Supermassive is an incredible free one. Then we have Oral River from Dennis Tihanov, free plugin that you can check out. Another reverb. We have Dragonfly Reverb, where you can get the plate, the room, and the hall reverb all for free. Then we have Tal Reverb 4, the 4th edition of their reverb. This is version 402. I believe that's out right now. So definitely check out that vintage modulated reverb sound. Then we have stonevoices.ru. They have D Reverb 2.2. That's out now. You can see the screen short right here. Check out that plugin. Then we have Synaptic. Not really a lot of settings here. You have to choose between A, B, C, and Z, and then you have to choose the wet mix. And then Halls of Fame 3. This is from the Best of Service, a free reverb. This is the free edition where you're getting 13 legendary hardware reverbs. You get 2 presets for each of those 13, and you can purchase the full edition for more presets. So definitely check that out. And last but not least, as I mentioned, you do have your stock DAWs, but for Logic, they have this Quantec Room Simulator, which is an incredible reverb. They just added this in version 11, I believe, maybe late last year. Don't quote me on that. But definitely check out your DAW stock reverbs. There's a lot of great reverbs in there. And of course, honorable mention, as you have seen throughout this episode, you can have the reverb setting from the Oxidate module in LOLCOMP/ALLCOMP, and you can use that to apply reverb to your sounds. So there's a lot of great options here. LOLCOMP is not free, so keep that in mind. But everything else mentioned in this segment is free. So check out all the different reverbs, including your stock reverb, and how you can enhance those sounds in your music productions. This has been Marcus Manderson with another Mixing Night Man of Mystery moment. Be safe and be well, everyone. All right? Peace.
Welcome back. Thank you, Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery. Whoa. His segments are always great. Man, we got a bunch of people I haven't seen on the chat world before. Phantomus Phanto? I know I'm butchering a lot of these names. I saw a bunch of people, Travarius Ross. Who else we got? I mean, the rest of you guys, Defingas and Dave Hates 808s, and Kirk Godin, We'll take some Q&A. Travarius Ross asks, that fell. Hang on. Travarius Ross asks, hey Ken, can using plugins on a vocal bus while recording damage your mic? No, that's not how that works. Let's see, fire away with questions if you got them. Also, Nolan, what's is that convology?
Convology from Marcus's segment.
So the convology reverb from the Marcus Manderson segment is the one that you can load impulse responses from, IRs. So I believe Nolan posted impulse responses from the underground beer chambers. So have at them. Use them. Load them in. Check them out. They're really, really cool spaces. What's going on? Chris Howard is on the chat roll. Hey, Chris Howard. Talk about a great record maker. I love that guy. And he's got a killer studio down north of Houston. His microphones, oh man, I'm envious as fuck at his mic collection. Hey, Brian Pepin won the last giveaway. Safari Pedals Ladybug Reverb. Enjoy that, Brian Pepin. I use that thing a lot. I usually use Ladybug, like the Safari Pedals in general. When I just I'm like, I need to vibe this up. It's either my plugins or Safari Pedals. And if you see, they're after my own heart with their designs. I can't lie. But sonically, they're after my own heart too. Ghost and Nostra asked a question earlier that I don't think I answered, but it went away. So feel free to re-ask that, and I'll try and get to it. Ghost Nostra says ALLCOMP is amazing. Thank you, dude. I think it is too. Yeah, I really think we did it with that thing, man. I mean, and when I tell you that plugin is on so many channels of my mixes, it's just so easy to use, and it's so I don't have to think about it. I just go this chain, that chain, okay, what do I want this to sound like? And everything that I probably want it to potentially sound like is under one hood. I'm looking right at it, and I can just adjust everything until I dial it in and it's perfect. And I noticed when you put everything at your disposal in one place, you get way better results than if you had 3 or 4 plugins that were capable of doing the same thing. Because you got to split your brain, and all of a sudden you're mouse mixing, and you're mixing with your eyeballs to this and that and that. But if you're just using ALLCOMP, it's just all of your choices are right here, and you can kind of turn your brain off and listen to the music and just go choice, 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 choice. Ooh, that's nice. Let me add some dirt onto that. Oh, that's, yeah, we did it. Phantomus Phanto. Let's see. Who else? Do we have any other? Fire away if you got questions. But so this, if you caught the May show, I did this mix from start to finish live. Let me tell you how many freaking tracks it had. I did not know they were going to drop 150 track song on me, and I had about 90 minutes to mix it live. And you're going to hear the end. So what I've done here is I have loaded in Phil's rough mix, which is ref. Then I have loaded in the end of show mix from the May show, which is how far I got live during the show, which is a pretty darn solid mix. And then Phil came over the next week, and we spent 3 more hours just fine-tuning it. And basically I just went into flow state, stream of consciousness, and it was just barreling through. But if you can see, the biggest lesson here is how many things got muted. And starting with the 2 bridge vocals that nobody needed, and the effects that nobody needed, and you see sections of all different places just getting chopped right out. Anything that's gray is a section that I was just we don't need this, we don't need that, we don't need this, we don't need that. And then we also have a bunch of these sections where this is one, let me get rid of that. If I just pull this back this way, this has information in between all these chops. So I chopped all that information out, and just use these pieces of these files in these moments. I did the same thing here, while I also muted another layer, and I muted these, and you know, you can start to see a pattern of I just savagely went through this thing, and I got rid of the stuff that the song didn't need, and I emphasized the stuff that the song needed. And it's hard to really hear and latch onto as a listener all of the song, all of the instrumentation and vocals that reinforce and enhance the song if all of it is just layered with like all of these parts that nobody really needed. But you as a creator, your brain can sort out every single thing that's going on. You know that this guitar part works behind this horn part, and it works with that organ part, and you know, and that bass line is kicking in, and the layered bass is kicking in. But really, the listener, they can't sort all of that stuff out because you've heard it 500 times, and they are hearing it for the very first time. And really, what they want is just that main instrument or whatever. And so you can see as I'm going through this, I'm just savagely muting. Sometimes moments like these moments are turnarounds. So if you can see, let me just show you a turnaround where I muted all of the drums and the bass, and these are 12-string guitars, and then and I muted the organs, and then the sound effects, and I created a moment that helps tell the listener we are leaving the verse and we are entering the chorus. Let me show you. Well, the educated mind. That's actually into a verse. Let me find an into a chorus. Where is an into a chorus?
I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 + 2 can never make 5.
All of this had stuff in it, and I just got rid of it. And all I did was focus on the vocal and make sure that the vocal set up the next section. So as a listener, we're marching right along.
Well, you might come close, but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things. I only know a few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 + 2 can never make 5.
You can see just how much I'm muting here. So when this kicks in, it's heavy. So you see what I did here? All of this had stuff, so sometimes I just deleted it. Sometimes I was conscious enough to go like, oh, I want to show this, let me just mute it. But the bridge was just overcrowded with shit. And I was just like, okay, let me uncrowd this bridge so that the introduction is like, it's supposed to be like the ringmaster at the circus. So I give the ringmaster space to be the ringmaster, and then when he wants to bring out all of the animals and get it all chaotic, then I bring in everything else. All created.
Well, a trick may work on the feeble mind.
And like during that kind of circus section, you know, the horns are intentionally slightly sloppy and out of tune and slightly loose, and all of that is to create a vibe. And when all of that other instrumentation was in there, the horns weren't creating any vibe at all because everything else was just stepping on them. So it was just a constant, like, what can you mute that allows everything else to breathe more musically in the way that you want it to breathe. So let me just pick a section, maybe a chorus, and let's listen to the show mix against, I can just do this down here. Boom, boom. So this is the, if you're seeing these down here, the ref is the rough mix, that's the show mix, and this is the final. So I'm just going to scroll between the three, and you can kind of hear section to section how drastically this song evolved over the course of a full mix. Where is it? See how many tracks are in here? Here we go.
It's a matter of what, it's not a matter of who. Well, the trick may work on the people's mind.
Show mix. Rough mix.
Real hard, but you'll never trick mine.
Show mix.
I know a few things. I only know a few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 + 2 = 5.
Oh, funny side note about this. One of the things that I did, the artist the song is called 2 + 2, and the catch on the hook is 2 + 2 won't ever make 5. And before every chorus, they put in, if you understand what like time signatures are, like 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 6/8, things like that. They had a bar of 5/4 before every chorus, and what that was doing to me as a listener was telling me that, let me find the first, I don't know if it's lined up, but it was like, me as a listener, I want to tap my foot along, and I want to lose myself in the song, and I don't want anything to throw me off or upset my vibe. And when that bar of 5, when every listener on planet Earth is used to tapping 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then right before the big chorus moment, the big payoff of the song, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. So on that beat 5, every listener expects to hit the chorus. And then for a moment, you're like, what? Oh, here's the chorus. But again, it goes back to the listener doesn't know why or why not they like or don't like something. They just know that I connect with this and I don't connect with that. And to me, the bar of 5 before each chorus was out-cooling yourself. It was just, it was doing math instead of doing music. And I understood what he was trying to accomplish, but the end result was that it was just going to throw the listener off. And the listener who just wants to lose themselves in it and tap their foot, all of a sudden goes like, oh, everything is in the wrong place right now. What the fuck is happening? Oh, okay, I kind of feel like I start to understand the hook. And so I just literally eliminated the 5th beat of that bar right before each chorus. Maybe I can find one that's easy to find. Hang on.
It's a matter of what, only know a few things. Can't count too good, but my fingers don't. You can try real hard, but you'll never mine. You can try real hard, but you'll never trick mine.
I don't know, I should have put markers up top to tell me what sections I was in, but I did not do that. So
Before the circus part.
right before the circus part, okay. that's a bar of 6. I kept that. I got rid of all the bars of 5. Yeah, anyway, it was just, I always try and just ask, my smooth brain, like, what does the listener want to hear? What do I, as a listener, want to hear? And I think one of the cheat codes to elevating as a mixer was to stop thinking about the technology and always, not always, usually try and put myself in the shoes of, if I'm a listener and I'm hearing this for the very first time, what do I want to hear? And I mix like that. I really mix with that mindset of, what is this feeling like and what do I want it to feel like as a listener? And I just let that be my guiding compass for how I put sounds together, where I pan things, how I treat things, etc., etc. And here's another amazing mixer tip, especially for you young mixers out there who are trying to figure it out. Pay attention right now. You do not need a plugin on every channel. You don't need an EQ on everything. You don't need a compressor on everything. You don't need effects on everything. And I'll tell you, so if you see there's almost no plugins on anything, and the way these controllers work, the SSL plugins, I just put one on every single channel so I can pull up an EQ quickly. But most of these SSL channel strip 2s are doing absolutely nothing. Let me see how far I got to scroll until I can find one that is actually changing the signal at all. So most of these channels, in fact, have no plug-in on them. This is just passing through audio cleanly. And still, I haven't found one that I've done any work on the SSL yet. It's all just balances. And I have 150 tracks of mostly just balances. And I still haven't found one. This is incredible. So when I tell you, and look at how little I am treating anything. I have ALLCOMP on one of the kicks. Let's see what I'm doing here. This is a nice trick. So with the ALLCOMP punch chain, I'm letting that transient through and then I'm leveling it out. With kick 2, levitate is a tilt. So if I want a kick drum to be heavier, it doesn't have enough ass end in it, I will tilt left. And this sets your center Q. So this is probably around 600 or 500 on the center. So everything under 500 gets boosted, and everything above 500 gets reduced a little bit. And it is a straight line curve, so it just kind of does this. It tilts. So listen to the heaviness of the kick when I bypass and reactivate levitate. And if I lose a little bit of the snap, which I felt like I could bring back with Awaken, which I did. So really, really simple stuff that just makes a real impact. So that kick wasn't, I could hear the snap of the beater fine, but the weight of it wasn't anchoring the bottom end of my mix the way I wanted it to. So I just levitated a little bit left, and voila, got exactly what I needed out of it. But back to my original point, almost no frickin' plugins on this entire 150 track mix, and it sounds like a frickin' freight train going. And ALLCOMP, because that's so versatile for me. You see the vocals, I am doing a bit more treatment. And you see ALLCOMP vocals is usually my go-to. Let's see if I can find what this one is doing. Here we go.
Well, the educated mind is in contest with the view that humankind is but a tool to be enslaved into.
I got heat following the vocal chain, so let me mute. Let me just bypass heat.
Well, the educated mind is in contest with the view that.
And cascade is the delay that I'm using, so you can see it. Boom.
Well, the educated mind is in contest with the view that humankind is but a tool to be enslaved and to use.
And you see, I'm pulling out all the stops with this. I got Awaken Air Band, so it's making that tip top of the vocal nice and crispy. And I'm oxidating in pre so that the reverb gets sucked back a little bit when he's singing, but at the moment he's stops singing, that reverb gets pushed forward. And I'm using like the medium chamber style on this.
Well, the educated mind is in contest with the view that humankind is but a tool to be enslaved.
And you see I'm also levitating this a little bit left, which gives a little bit more weight to his voice, but I'm also awakening the air band to give him a little bit more crispiness. So I'm kind of balancing things out without having to touch an EQ, and I'm adding oxidate. So this is there was a question earlier about delay into reverb or reverb into delay. Well, I'm adding reverb before it hits the delay. So in this case, it's reverb into delay. And then I got the heat dialed into this. And you see one of the tricks with heat is the mix knob. So you get the saturation or distortion right for what you want, and then you dial the mix back so that you still get the clarity of the dry signal, but you get the crunch of the saturation.
Well, the educated mind is in contest with the view that humankind is but a tool to be enslaved and to use. You can petrify a body.
So I wanted that little break up and that little edge because it's that type of a song. But if I wanted a ton of saturation, but I still wanted my vocal clear.
Well, the educated mind is in contest with the view that humankind is but a tool to be enslaved and to use. You can petrify a body with the will to submit. It's not until you've captured thought that man will cease to resist.
So you can just do so much with this. I literally put everything I could into this just for myself so I wouldn't have to spend so long trying to be creative on a mix, and it would just give me the tools that I wanted. Let's see. Do we have any questions on this? Massey the Creator asks, hey Ken, do you use reverb subtly enough to keep things sounding dry but still give the mix space and vibe? When I want to, yes. When I want it to sound like reverb, sure, it's going to be wet as fuck. But if I want, like if you saw the earlier segment where I was showing the non-lin AMS RMX16 against the chamber, against the long haul, those are all different emotions that are elicited from the listener depending on what style of reverb that you put on, or how many things that you stack together and how you treat each one. It all elicits different emotions from the listener, and your job as a mixer is to figure out the emotions you want to elicit, that you want the listener to feel, and then pick the effects or the treatments that do that to you. And that's always your best guess. Okay, I think I want it to feel like this. How can I make myself feel like this? What is the right choice of reverb or delay or saturation or whatever that's going to make me as a listener feel like I think I want to feel? And I always put myself in that position as a mixer, and and just ask myself, like, what does the song need? What do I as a listener want to hear? And then I kind of scan through my brain, like the skill sets and tool sets, and I go like, oh, well, maybe I'll try this, and then I'll add that. And then I'll just evaluate as I go. And I'm always open to getting it wrong, and going like, oh, I thought that was going to sound good, but that really doesn't give me the feel that I thought I wanted. Okay, well, let me try something else. And that's one of the gems of ALLCOMP is there's so many choices right at your fingertips, right under the hood, that you can go like, this one, no, this one, oh, that was better. Oh, that's cool, but I think maybe that one, but oh, holy shit, heat, that, oh, yeah. And, you know, I'm always open to being surprised and going like, wow, that came out better than I ever thought it would. And it's just, you know, you just try shit. And this is where kind of experience comes in. You know, I've mixed so many records that I have a really good sixth sense of what's going to work and what's not. And I am kind of seasoned enough to hear something and go like, oh, that's not working the way I thought. And back off and try something else. So let's see. G-Doggy asks, hey Ken, have you ever tried mixing a song using Dear VR for panning and verb? I've seen very few demos of people doing it, but it seems like it would be pretty cool. To me, it's very gimmicky. If it works on your stuff, amen, great. But to me, it's just, I have used it a little bit, and it just never really did for me what I thought I wanted out of it. And that's really the best way I can describe that. Oh, man, we got a ton of people that I haven't seen on the chat roll yet. D-Block Bass, welcome to Mixing Night. Phil Deox, that was, if anybody doesn't know, Phil's on the chat roll right now, and we're working on his song. I find that very cool. Ben Kruger, good to see you, Ben Kruger. Eric Chansey still with us. Bill Dwyer. Bill Dwyer has a Soundcraft users group so on Facebook. So if you are a Soundcraft user, you definitely want to join Bill Dwyer's group. Super informative. Wright Sound Studios, is that in Dayton by chance? Is that a reference to the Wright brothers, or is that just your last name? You say you're 160 minutes late. Sorry, you missed all the giveaways, Wright Sound. You got to be live to enter, and you don't have to be live to win, but it seems like everybody was. So cool that a lot of these companies who are basically friends of mine and stuff that I use anyway, that I can just reach out to them and go like, hey, you know, can I give away a couple NFRs of, you know, Auto Align 2 or Ladybug Reverb tonight or Session Studio? And almost all of my friends in this industry, they're like, yeah, what do you need? Just, yeah, tell me how many and what, and then it's super cool. And then you guys show up, and a few of you get to walk away earning some cool new plugins that might spark something brand new out of you. It's a great feeling. Let's see. Whoa, we're at 10 o'clock already? How the heck did that happen? I think we're like, I'll do a little bit more Q&A if you guys want to fire away, but I think we're about wrapped for the night. Who's on the chat roll? Let's see. I think that's about out of questions. Well, it's past 10 p.m. and do your parents know where you are? You got to be old to know that reference. But I have had an absolute blast tonight. We poured through a lot. We had some technical difficulties, but we got right through them. And it's always good to challenge my staff and make them sweat a little bit. And, you know, they rock-starred their way through everything tonight. Eric Chansey, again, congrats on your anniversary. Me and Eric went and played pinball and shot hoops last night at the Pinball Garage. And that's basically my favorite place to go when I just need to duck out of a session and clear my head for an hour. I'll just go play some pinball and you know, have some fun. And for anybody curious in Nerdland, favorite pinball machines, Mars Attacks. There's this the Dungeons and Dragons, the Tyrant's Eye, that's a blast. Monster Mash. Godzilla. What else do I? Oh, Cactus Canyon. Fucking love Cactus Canyon. I also love video games, but most of the video games they're like Ms. Pac-Man on the super fast mode, but the controller rarely works, so I don't really play it much there. Also, I got to give a super shout out to Johan and Luana. I was when I was in Toulouse in May, I was supposed to be teaching. I got super sick, and I could not move out of my bed. I was stuck there for like 10 freaking days. I was supposed to meet Johan and Luana in Amsterdam, and I could not make that flight if my life depended on it. But they soldiered through, and they made it, and they went to the Van Gogh Museum and got me a mug. Thank you so much. And breaks my heart that I missed those two. One of my favorite just days out that I ever spent was with Johan and Dom, who incidentally I both met in Berlin at a masterclass that I was doing. And me and Dom and Johan had the best day ever in Ghent, Belgium. And so love those guys. I was supposed to go to Athens with Dom, and I couldn't get to Athens. I was so sick. And Dom went and just had a great time by himself. And Johan and Luana went to Amsterdam and had a great time without me. I was there in spirit. But thank you, Johan. And I hope that we get more vacation days out together. It's really cool having some awesome friends all over the world. So let's see. Who else we got? Art is on the chat roll now. Haven't seen you yet tonight. Ghost of Nostra. This is Torch. Dogpile25. Love that name. Dogpile25. So I think, is there, hang on, don't show the screen. I just want to pull up. I had a bunch of shout outs that I think I wanted to do. Yes. I already congratulated Eric. Danny Buck of Sound Radix, thank you so much for your help. Noam Levenberg from Safari Pedals, thank you. My attorney, Carl Guthrie, is a fucking savage. You do not want to meet him in a dark courtroom. He's been helping me a lot lately on a case. And Alex from Session Studio, thank you for all of your help this year. I'm writing with Coburn tomorrow. Coburn's album is going to be fantastic. And I've been working with Anushka Sen. Nushi, man, Nushi gave me this. And Nushi also painted you can't really see it in this light very well, but the one right next to the Ukrainian flag looking thing, Anushka painted that while she was here, and that is a prized possession of mine. That girl is a triple threat. Man, she's 22. She's been acting since she was 7, so 14 years of acting. She's a huge actress in India, but she is just an exceptional singer. And her acting ability gives her the ability to emote and convey emotions behind the microphone that is really difficult for great singers that don't have any acting chops to accomplish. And that's, as a vocal producer, that's one of the most difficult and challenging things, is to get the singer connected to why they wrote that song or why they're singing that song, what it means to them, and most importantly, what they want the listener to feel when they sing. And giving a great vocal performance has nothing to do with singing great. It has everything to do with connecting the emotions of that song that move you, that is the reason you're singing it, to the listener who understands without seeing anything, with just listening in their headphones or their speakers, and they understand what you're feeling. And Anushka is absolutely fantastic at that. And Coburn is absolutely fantastic at that as well. And I'm working with Coburn tomorrow on her album, which we're getting really close to a finish line writing and production on. Super excited about that album. And happy birthday to Coburn. She had a birthday yesterday. They're piling up, and my birthday is in a week. So let's see. Do I have any other shout-outs to give? Shout-outs to the whole staff and everybody involved in Mixing Night. Lori, Dom, Nolan, Jonathan, Aiden, JT, Tommy, Kyle, I hope I'm not forgetting anybody right now. All of you guys, the work that goes into the show, I hope we make it look effortless, but we prep the fuck out of this show. And man, it is a real community effort, and we really throw down, and we really hope that you guys have a great experience. And thank you for showing up, and thank you for telling your friends about us. And tune in July, which is probably going to be Independence Night, which is probably going to feature Coburn, because she's an independent and she is a savage. She's like a heavy rock artist, metal artist, really melodic. Incredible songs, incredible vocals, incredible guitar playing. I mean, the girl, talk about a triple threat. So I'm probably going to drag Coburn into the studio in July and have her be a part of Independence Night on the July mixing night. But thank you for everybody that joined us tonight, and thanks for everybody that put this together. I'm going to go turn on the turntable and fire up some Jimi Hendrix and call it an evening. So, good night from mixing night, and I will see you in July.